Hi, welcome to The Doctor and the Baker. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio.
And I'm Biagio Iuliano, Biagio the baker, as also Biagio the chef. And we are here today cooking from the heart for the heart. Here with Dr. DeFabio, we're going to discuss some of the ingredients that will be beneficiary for the heart. So Doc, what are we doing today? We're gonna make a roast tomato, a rustic roast tomato with over some mixed green salad with some beets.
All right.
Okay, this was one of my grandfather recipe, a simple thing. You know, people that they go in a farmer, they always have a tomato, beets, onions, so rustic.
That's it.
Rustic thing. So here we are going to start sauteing a little bit of garlic. So we have a pan going.
It's always good to have the pan nice and hot, correct?
We want the pan hot, but not really, really hot. We don't want to burning anything. We want cooking.
All right.
So, you know, we have the pan, you know.
Now, when you said roasted tomatoes, we're going to be putting it in the pan here. So,
right.
When you say roasting, it also implies like a braising type of thing?
Exactly. We mostly like, you know, we are going to braise the tomato, and then we are going to serve on a beautiful multigrain bread that come from our location, and then I'm gonna make you cutting today. As a matter of fact, you complained last week, so this time I'm gonna make you working.
Oh boy, I got something to do today.
See?
I just can't sit and talk. But you know, Biagio, it is all about making foods healthy.
That's it.
I mean, that's really my passion. I mean,
well, healthy, but it's gotta come from the heart. So passionate.
Exactly,
so
and it's got to be good for you. So let's make it happen. So we have some hot oil.
We have a little bit olive oil, and
I
start a little bit of smoking. So we have a little bit of onions.
Nice.
We're going to put a little bit of tomato.
Now, as the tomatoes are going in, people need to understand that tomatoes are very high in phytonutrients. You've heard about the lycopene in there. You've heard about the lutein in there. There are 14 different phytonutrients in tomatoes. They are chock full of great nutrients. Good for the heart, high in potassium. Did you realize that a small can of tomato paste has more potassium per ounce than any other food?
Wow.
So potassium, really good for the heart.
So
now,
anyway,
how hot is
look,
that?
It's very hot, it's going, see, it's already translucent, the tomato getting softer. You know, we don't want to really make it brown. So we just go over, because we still want to see what we're eating. You know, we want to see that the tomato, you know, it's a tomato. It's not a paste. So with that, now we're going to put a little bit of seasoning. So we're going to put a little bit of salt. Again, sea salt, and we're going to crack a little bit of pepper.
Now, some people may want to use those no salt imitation salts that have potassium chloride instead of sodium chloride. Be cautious if you're cooking with it, because it is a little bitter. So this is sea salt. We find that works well. High in minerals, and we're going to be talking about manganese and magnesium moving forward. What do we got going in now?
We put a little bit of basil for coloring and for flavoring. Okay, pretty much this is done. So at this moment, we're going to put this on low.
And the aromatic oils from the basil, again, very healthy for the heart.
Put very low. There you go. See it? Nice.
Beautiful.
It's meshing. Here we go. We got it.
Beautiful.
So this is that. So now we're going to make salad, mixed green salads. We're going to toss it up with our beets that we talked before. See,
beets.
This is beets. Previously we boiled the beets, we let it cool off with cubes. Nothing special, you know, just very easy and simple.
Now, beets are very good for you for lots of reasons. Number one, they're high in betadines. Betadines are very good for your liver. They help with what's called phase 2 detoxification in the liver. Notice, Biagio, you boiled them. Boil or steam them maintains the integrity of the nutrients of the beets much better than roasting. You can roast them, but boil or steam, really good detoxification for the liver.
So again, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, if you guys are liking, or maybe not pepper.
A little bit.
A little bit of olive oil just to coating everything. Here we go, and we just kind of toss it up.
Now the olive oil we like to use is infused with a little bit of
omega-3.
Omega-3s. Omega-3 oils are a good oil. They're a monounsaturated oil. Very anti-inflammatory, very good for the heart. And of course, greens, you can't go wrong. When you have greens, I think this is the plate,
I'm going to ask you to get me. Here we go.
There we go. I can do certain things. I'm not just an information guy, you know?
Now you're really cooking.
That's it.
So we're going
we'll
to
make you a little room.
So anyway, if you can cut me some of the beautiful bread, we need a nice beautiful wedge, okay? Not too big.
You want to what I got to mention is you notice the bread is a panella, and it's
a panella, right?
It's face up. It's not upside down. My mother would be, and my grandfather, if we ever left the bread on its side or upside down, that was a bad, bad omen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, always have to leave the panella up.
Absolutely.
So Grandpa and my mother in their honor. You just want a wedge of the crust, or you want to get a little bit of
No,
the
just
grain?
to make me like the grain, just cutting through, you know what, cut another piece.
Cut another piece?
Yeah, cut another piece.
Do it like
way.
this. We get a nice little bit.
Nice,
now, whole grains, we know are
piece.
very good for the heart. But what you have to understand, it's not just multi-grain bread, it's whole grain bread. Whole grains are where you're going to get the B vitamins, where you're going to get the fiber. It's where you're going to get, the cocuzel, we used to call this. I'm going to put a little bit of the cocuzel from my father on there. But it's the whole grains are where you get the real fiber nutrient qualities. Oh, look at that.
And there you have it.
Roasted tomatoes, rustic style.
Tomato style. There you go.
Very nice. Some beets, anti-inflammatory with the greens. Look at the colors. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors on there. That's what's important with your food. When you want the phytonutrients, the antioxidants, you want lots of different colors. That's what brings all the different minerals. That's what brings all the different nutrients. And remember, tomatoes have the highest concentration of antioxidants than any other fruit, because they're a fruit, aren't they?
A fruit, exactly.
Tomatoes are a fruit, but guess what? At the end of the show, we're going to be using something that's even higher than tomatoes in both vitamin C and antioxidants. Stay tuned. We're going to come on with our next dish, and we'll be right back.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to the show. Biagio, boy, that rustic roasted tomato smells so great. I can't wait to have some of that. Great. But we're going to move on to our second course, all about healthy heart. What do you have planned?
Well, we have turkey marsala. We're going to make a turkey marsala. Instead to use a chicken, we're going to use a turkey. Turkey is a little bit healthier, and it's not being too much utilized. So we're showing our
and you can get it very easily. We forgot to mention all the ingredients you can get just right at your local store. We're not going to use fancy, difficult things to find. And it's going to be healthy for you. I'm committed to making sure the food is healthy.
Yeah, but it's got to taste good.
Well, that's your job, man. Right. So come on.
So that's what we have.
Turkey marsala. Where are we going to start?
So we're starting. So again, we're going to put our pan to high heat and then reducing down. So we're starting with having a little bit of omega-3 oil.
And again,
olive oil.
We're using turkey breast today.
Right.
If you are going to be using ground turkey at home, be careful that it's ground turkey breast, because if they grind it with the dark meat, you're getting a lot of fat in there. All right.
So we're going to have some of the onions.
Onions are also very good for the liver. We talked about that with the beets. They're good for the detoxification of phase 2. Onions have that same phenol compound in there, the same family of compound, which will help with detoxification in the liver.
And with that, as you see, we're using one pan. The goal is to use one pan to make it easier at home to follow. It doesn't have to be, again, we're cooking from the heart. So.
And that means thinking about the person who's got to clean the pans. Right. See, we're thinking about everybody else. We're giving. If we do it in one pan, everybody's happy. Because in my house, if you cook, you don't clean.
You don't clean, exactly, right.
So that's what it's all about.
So we make everybody happy. So in this case, we put the onions a little bit first. This way they get softer, and also, now
the onions are a chiffonade? They're just sliced.
Chiffonado slice.
How come?
Yes.
You just like that, or is it?
It's easier, rustic. We keep the rustic theme.
All right, very nice.
So we have a turkey here. We're just gonna put some salt and pepper.
Okay. Now it's turkey breast. Almost
turkey
like a
breast.
scallopine.
Almost like a scallopine. No,
kind of,
it's thin, you know.
So maybe a
usually
quarter
you
of
can
an inch.
Pound, right.
But you didn't pound it. You
No,
didn't pound it.
we didn't. You know, we gotta keep it with the rustic, so we do rustic.
There you go. We got them going now. That's nice.
There we go. See how
You know,
this
turkey
is
is high
going?
in the amino acid tryptophan,
Right.
very calming, very sedating. We're going to talk more about the amino acids and sedating and stimulating when we do our dessert today. But it's just a great source of protein that's lean and
Here
healthy.
we go. Some baby portobello.
There you go. Baby portobellos are also called creminis, but they're
Right.
basically baby portobellos. You know, technically, what's the preparation on a mushroom
Well-
from a culinary perspective, Biagio?
Well, a lot of people, they don't wash it. Don't wash it because they say, you know, the weight, they will absorb water, will lose the flavor, but, you know, I don't think so. So ours, they're washed.
Got
They're
it.
washed, you know, quickly rinse, you know, dry it up with a towel.
I guess that's a little more important when you have some of those wild mushrooms.
Well, it depends also the type of mushroom. You know, if you're using a porcini mushroom, you know, it's very delicate. Also, the porcini, you know, the smell of the porcini, it makes unique porcini mushrooms, and so you want to be gentle.
Yeah, you don't want to wash
you don't
all
want
that
to
off.
rinse them off, but you know, you want to get like a rag, a little bit wet, and go on with that.
So now,
So now we're searing our turkey.
Okay.
See, with all the vegetables, so it's getting cooking.
Now,
So
is the salt from the turkey going to cause the mushrooms to throw up too much of the water?
not really, not as much, but you know, we want to have a little bit, and plus this is a baby, so they're less water. You know, they're not too big, so they're more firm versus, you know,
And that's a
bigger
pretty
ones.
high heat.
On a high heat, right? See the caramelization we got in there, and again, we did not use any flour on the turkey breast. Usually, to make it creamier, you know, usually you put
Dust
the
it in
turkey
flour.
dust in flour, so this way it helps to create a root. So in this case, we don't, but you know, we're trying to caramelization in the pan. So when we throw our wine in, with the reduction, it will be a little bit creamier.
Now, the reason we hold off on the flour is to be healthy for the heart. We want to keep the glycemic index low. And white flour used for these dredging type of dustings, it would raise the glycemic index, which means you get a big sugar spike in your insulin levels after you eat. When that happens, it creates inflammation. Inflammation is a driving factor for heart disease, so that's why Biagio took it out. So we
Yeah, we
appreciate
took that out. Yeah. This
And
will
that's
make
also
a
why we
healthy-
use multi-grain, whole grain bread, low glycemic index, better to keep for the heart. Now, how long is that going to have to cook? For a
Well,
little
it's
while?
going to cook a little bit longer because, you know, the pieces, they're a little bit thicker than usual. But, you know, if you guys take a couple minutes and pound it out a little bit nice and thin, they only take about 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
So
well,
in this
what are we going to
case,
serve this with then?
we're going to serve with our sweet mashed potato.
Okay, mashed sweet
so
potatoes.
we're going to do that. We're going to start right here. Again, we're going to...
So mashed potatoes, or rather sweet potatoes, are what we also call yams in this country. A true yam is very long and it's dark, it's black, it looks like a root. So if you see something that says yam and it looks yellowish or orangish or even purple, it is a true sweet potato.
You know,
These
Don,
guys
I'm
are
going to make you
killer.
work today.
All right, make me work.
So we're going to put a little bit the almond butter here, reverse
Great.
it to regular butter.
Okay.
And you can use this wooden spoon right next to you and start to mash it up.
I can do
You
that.
know, the sweet potato, previously they already been boiled, you know, just to cut a little bit of time. You just mash everything up,
Got it.
and we'll keep this at lower.
Now, sweet potatoes as well as tomatoes, the antioxidants in there get absorbed better with a source of fat. So by adding the almond butter, we get that source of fat. It'll give you that, bring out the sweetness, and it also helps bring out the antioxidants. The sweet potatoes are also high in a soluble fiber, which helps lowers LDL cholesterol. And it actually has been shown to help with certain cancers as well. The soluble fiber is great for the colon.
Here
How
we
you doing
go.
over
So
there,
we're
Biagio?
going, all right, we're going to have a little bit of wine. See? We raise it up, a little bit of wine, and the cream is start to go. How's your mash looking, Doc?
It's coming.
It's coming? Okay,
We're
great.
getting the
So
workout.
I'm going to get you a plate,
It's
and
coming. I gotta
we're
go a
going to
little bit
plate them
more.
up.
Now, what kind? We're using a little bit of Marsala wine. Now,
We
as
use a
the
little
wine
Marsala,
cooks,
right?
But they could use anything. You could use a
They
white
can use
wine
sherry wine,
or
white
sherry.
wine, any type of wine, burgundy wine, whatever you prefer. You know, our case, you know, we'll leave it the marsala this way, nice aroma, aromatic. You know, it's bland versus to be white, and it's getting the creamy. See the creamy that I told you before? We're getting with the caramelization over the onions and all
nice.
that, the mushroom stuff.
Nice.
So and the juice from the chicken. So it's not going to be a real thick sauce, but versus it's going to be a clear sauce. So I think we're done to go. So
Yeah,
done.
looking
Pass
good.
me the dish and we are plating
do that.
everything up. Yep.
Now, I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about almond butter while you're plating, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Did you know that if you take a piece of white bread and you put 3 tablespoons of almond butter on it, it lowers the glycemic index of that piece of bread by over 50%. Almonds are high in magnesium, which is great for your heart. Magnesium is your natural calcium channel blocker. People are on calcium channel blocker medications. You can take almonds to do the same thing. Really good for you.
Here
It's a
we
high
go.
in monounsaturated fats, which means they're good for your heart, like olive oil. Eat almonds every day.
You can pass me that.
Here you go. I got
I
it
do
spooned
that.
up. That's a big portion because I like almond butter and sweet potatoes.
Ooh, it smells
So
delicious.
This is a killer recipe for your heart, and it's high in antioxidants.
Here we have it.
And
You know, we
look
got
at
a little
that.
bit creative. Here we go.
Bravo.
Here we go.
Hey, you know, Biagio, I know I didn't taste the bruschetta, but I'm not waiting on this because
All
I
right,
got to
dig
have
in,
some of
dig
this
in,
almond
dig in.
butter. But this is one of my favorites, but I'm going to get a little piece of the turkey over there at the same time. I'm doing it all together. All together. Let me see. Oh, man.
It tastes good, huh?
That tastes good.
I can't
wish
wait.
you guys could smell.
All right, we will take a moment to break, and when we come back, we're going with the dessert.
Yeah,
Our
ciao.
chocolate
I'm going to go
fondue.
eat this over here. I'll see you guys next show.
Ciabatta is a loaf of bread that is high in water content, so it will allow the bread to, in the baking time, to evaporize and opening a lot of holes inside the bread. And also because it is a bread that takes a long time to raise, so it also picks up some more flavor versus to a baguette or another type of bread. Ciabatta you were using because it's crusty, crispy outside, and also inside it's got a nice body to it, and that's very unique because of the air that's inside, very airy. So when you're eating, you know, you find a little bit much flavor, caramelization from the oven towards to the bread that you're choosing.
Welcome back to the show, and now it's time for our healthy heart dessert. What are we going to make for a healthy heart dessert?
We are going to make a chocolate fondue, but it's not your normal chocolate fondue. We are going to use just regular cocoa powder, bittersweet cocoa powder, and a little bit of cream. You know, we need a little bit of fat in order to make it like in a cream, and sugar because it's a little bit bitter. The cocoa it's bitter, so we're going to use xylitol.
There's our xylitol
A sugar
again.
substitute.
Well, it's
And it
low
works
in
well.
glycemic index again.
Okay, Doc, you're explaining about the sugar, and I'm going to start. So we're going to put the sugar in. This way
And
we'll...
this is xylitol we have, but now you're
Right,
also
see,
mixing it with
is-
the fluid first, right? That's
Yes,
the key with the
because,
xylitol.
right, because you see it starts to melting down. You see as a regular sugar, otherwise it will be a little bit thick, crystallization. So now we put a little bit of the liquid. This way the
And
pan
that's an
doesn't burn.
organic, grass-fed cream. So it's healthy in terms of the fats, the omega-3 fats. And now, now we're going to add some cocoa.
We're gonna have a little bit of cocoa.
A couple of things about cocoa. Cocoa has the highest number of antioxidants than any other substance per ounce, higher than goji berries, 4 times higher. Now, but what are antioxidants? When your body goes through normal chemical reactions, it uses certain chemicals, let's say water. You got 2 hydrogens and you got 2 oxygens around. They come together and they make H2O. That means there's an extra oxygen floating around. That's called a free radical. Every reaction in your body creates free radicals. You need substances to come along that neutralize them. That's what antioxidants are. Antioxidants keep you healthy. Cocoa's got the highest amount. You can't eat so much cocoa because of the other compounds in them, which prevent it. So that's why you
Anyway,
can have some.
As you see before, we started was like a little bit of paste. Now we dilute it down a little bit, so we make sure that we bring up the flame a little bit higher, and this way we'll.
What about temperature?
Creamy.
You put cream in there. Do we have to worry about the temperature?
Well, usually when it comes to a boiling point, that's where we want to go, to a boiling point. But we want to reach the boiling point slowly. This way, nothing is burned, we keep all the fat in and everything. So now it's a little bit too, if it's a little bit too liquid, don't worry, just add a little bit more cocoa to thickness.
Got it. And again, it's best if you're using the non-Dutched cocoa because when they Dutch it, that means they've alkalized it. They've taken away some of the phenol compounds. They made it less bitter, so it is a little bit sweeter, but it's less healthy. And if you really want to get that bang for your buck from all those phenols, you really want to use the non-Dutch cocoa.
Smelling delicious and it's thickened up. See how it's thickened up? So at this point, it's very hard that we control the flame. So we want to go in low, and there you go. It's boiling, and we're ready to go. So wow, look at that.
Nice. Now, if we were going to keep that true fondue style, a low heat would be the way to keep it like that. Would you add a little bit of extra liquid to help keep it nice?
You can keep it hot all the time. Also, you can put it on bain-marie with with another pan on the bottom with a little bit of warm. This way, it keeps warm. Also, you can get those fancy one. Those fancy thing, you make your sauce, you put it over there. On the bottom, it's got those little heat, and it stays nice and moist. But here, what do we have? We have a beautiful cream. Okay, it looks like a fondue. And you know what? It's gonna taste like a fondue. So
and that's the key. I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
So here we go. So previously we cut some other fruit. And
so bananas? Everybody knows bananas are very high in potassium. Potassium is essential for your heart. You wanna make sure you have potassium. But in the beginning, I gave you a little quiz. And I said we're having tomatoes. Very high in antioxidants, but there's something even higher. And guess what that is? Strawberries. Strawberries have the most vitamin C of any fruit. They have the most antioxidants, over 18 antioxidants in one strawberry. Antioxidants are great for fighting cancer. Antioxidants are also beneficial for keeping down inflammation. Inflammation drives sickness and disease. And lastly, one more thing, and then it's up to you, Biagio. I got one more thing about the strawberries. Strawberries will actually help lower your blood sugar level. So chocolate like this with a low glycemic sugar like xylitol and strawberries is great for diabetics.
You know what,
in moderation. Yes, Biagio.
I'm very hungry. Pass me another piece of bread. We'll make a piece of bread. This way we'll put it over here.
You want a thick slice?
Just a little piece. A little cubes. There you go. Little cubes.
Here's more.
We'll
so you can even have a little bread with your fondue, the multi-grain bread.
Multi-grain. Here you go. Dip that.
I get to dip.
See, you got the dip.
See, this is the best part about you cooking is I get to taste. But does that mean I have to clean up? Is that the problem?
No, we will not make you clean up, but we'll figure something out. Boy, you've been eating all this time. You know what? We're gonna take a break. I'm going to taste the appetizer, and from Biagio
and the doctor,
we will see you right back.
One thing you can do to improve your health, that's to make sure you eat throughout the day to maintain a level blood sugar. It really helps if you start off your day with a protein-based meal to help set the blood sugar properly, but throughout the day, eat regular meals at regular times, keep your blood sugar level. By avoiding spikes in blood sugar, it not only maintains your energy level, but it prevents inflammation. Inflammation creates pain and disease. So you'll have better energy, less inflammation if you eat regular meals at regular times. That's one simple thing you can do to improve your health. Well, welcome back to the show. Biagio, what do we have?
Here we have, guys, we have our 3 dishes for the day. We have the roasted tomatoes salad with beets and turkey marsala with almond butter puree with sweet potatoes and a fondue.
All healthy stuff.
So I'm going to dig in, guys. I'm going to leave it to the Dr. DeFabio here. He's going to talk about how you do nutritional stuff.
Well, I want you to try that because I didn't have a chance to try that yet.
We are.
In the meantime, I want to remind people what we talked about neurotransmitters in chocolate. Chocolate's very high in a chemical called PEA. It's a neurotransmitter for the brain. Wow.